Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the AmandaFest Podcast. My name is Amanda, and my mission is to inspire and empower you to take aligned action towards your dream life, whatever that looks like for you. Today's episode looks a little bit different. I am here on the couch, cozied up in a blanket, because we're doing a solo podcast. So I decided recently that I was going to switch up the format of the podcast and do every other episode, one guest, one solo. And this is now the second solo episode in that series. I have been procrastinating recording this. I was going to record last week, then I was going to record it this weekend, then I was going to record it yesterday, and finally here I am. And I feel like the resistance that was coming up for me was just feeling forced. I put an Instagram poll up the other day of a handful of topics, and honestly, it was super well received. I think I put Burning Man stories from Hollywood, tales of my nomad journey, and then crazy manifestation stories. And I honestly got a ton of responses from you guys, so it does sound like there is interest in hearing all of those things. And I promise you, I will share all of those episodes. But this one just really felt like it wanted to be just like a yap session, a little life update, chat, let's just see what unfolds. So we're going to test out this new format, see how it goes, do something organic, and I'd love to hear your feedback. And if this is interesting to you guys, if you like this style, if you like this format, we can do more of it. If you hate it, then we won't. But I'm excited to see what unfolds. So, as I have done with every episode, I'm going to do a little drop in for myself and for you guys. So, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, if it's safe to do so, I invite you guys to close down your eyes. Just start to notice what it feels like to be present and in your body. Maybe do a quick scan from head to toe. Just noticing where you're holding tension in your body. Is it in your jaw? Is it in your neck? Is it in your shoulders? Wherever it is, feel free to touch that part of your body. Give it some attention. Roll it out. Massage it. Do whatever you need to do to just feel 2% better. Beautiful. I invite you to take some nice deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. I always like to put a hand on my heart and one on my belly. We're just going to take 2 more nice deep breaths in like that, with the inhale calling in our intention for this session, and the exhale letting go of something that no longer serves us. We're ready to just release. Last one, nice deep breath in together through the nose and out through the mouth, and shake it out, make some noise. Ooh, welcome to your body, welcome to AmandaFest, and welcome to this session. You know what I realized is I really feel like I could talk to a brick wall. And so here we are putting it to the test. It's not a brick wall, but I'm literally looking at a camera talking to myself right now. And so I'm like, if I could do this, I could literally talk to anybody. And here we are. So let's drop into some updates. I feel like that is what feels most alive for me right now to share with you guys, because this year has been a wild year, guys. I feel like I'm looking at this year and in my head, I'm like, oh, I didn't really do much this year, because the year prior, that was the year that I quit my job, packed up my apartment, put everything in storage, went to Europe, did my Eat, Pray, Love trip, went to Tomorrowland and Ultra in Croatia and Glastonbury in the UK, and came back to the States and all of these things. And then this year, I've traveled a bit, but mostly like in the States. Where did I go? Actually, you know what? I have a list on my phone. of all the places I've been this year. I feel like that would be a really interesting place to start this episode. But as we near the end of 2024, I feel like doing some recaps are definitely in order. So let's just check it out. So I actually have a notes app on my phone, and it's like travel itinerary for 2024. So basically I like map out all the places that I've been, all of the upcoming places. I have a list of like all the artists I've seen this year, the festivals and stages I've been to, which ecstatic dances I've been to. What do I have? I have notable events. Oh my God, I forgot I even wrote that. And then I have like my itinerary. So obviously all these check marks are things that happen. I did a Instagram post talking about this before. So the way that I operate is, obviously I use Google Calendar as well. I'm the type of person where like if it's not in my calendar, it's not happening. But I have this thing called the menu, which I feel like I should trademark because it's amazing. Before I started my spiritual journey, I felt, as I'm sure many people can relate to, when people invited me to things, I would feel either obligated to do certain things that I didn't really want to do, and or for me, I realized that I'm such a yes person. I get so excited about things that I just say yes, 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 yes. And then like when it comes down to it, I either realize that it's too much, or I don't have the bandwidth, or, you know, XYZ, I've overbooked, I've overcommitted, I said yes to too many things, like whatever it is. So I created this idea called the menu. So what I'll do is, if you invite me to something, or if there's something exciting like a show, a concert, a festival, something I'm interested in doing, instead of fully committing to it in advance, I'll put it on my list, I'll put it on the menu, and then I'll decide at a later date. As it gets closer, I'll do like a check-in and I'll be like, cool. So the menu is like my list of possibilities of things that are available. And then as I get closer, I'll actually decide what I'll say yes to or what I won't say yes to. This really helps me just hold myself accountable to truly like checking in and making sure that what I'm saying yes to is truly in alignment. My question that I ask myself when I'm deciding whether or not to do something is, I check in with myself and I go, is this in devotion to or a distraction from my highest good, my highest timeline, my future self, et cetera, et cetera. This has helped me so much because I feel like there are many opportunities that are presented where I'm like, fuck yeah, that sounds amazing. I'm so excited about that. But in reality, I'm like, you know what? That's not in service of my highest good. So let's go back to my year. So me being like, oh, I didn't do much this year. Not that much happened. I didn't really go anywhere. This year, I started in New York City, then I went to Miami, then I went to Tulum, then came back to Miami, then I did Denver and Boulder, then I went back to Miami, then I went to Austin, then I went back to Miami, then I went to New York City, then I went to Park City, Denver and Boulder again, Nashville, New York City, Miami, New York City, LA, Mount Shasta, New York City, Michigan, New York City, and then on Tuesday I'm going to Toronto. I was supposed to go to Vegas at the end of this year, but I've decided that that's not aligned because it's just feeling like too much. And then I'm going to Playa del Carmen. So that's my year of not doing a lot. So notable events. Let's go to these notable events. In my year of nothing happening, this is what I've done. Honestly, I'm not even kidding you. I don't remember rating this. So I'm curious what I wrote. So notable events that have happened this year. So I started my LLC in February. I launched my podcast in May. I sat with ayahuasca for the first time in November. I turned 30 in November. I quit my 9-to-5 to pursue AmandaFest in November. I co-founded No Fun, which is a group coaching program and a community guided towards helping people live more intentional social lives. We actually hosted our first pop-up event at a music festival in Nashville. I completed a digital online course called the Soul Creator Course, which was dedicated towards showing up authentically in the digital dimension. Since then, I have committed to posting online every single day. So that has been a massive, big transformation in my life. I invested in one-on-one coaching for business development, which opened up my mind and really helped give me clarity on what I'm creating with AmandaFest and what direction I'm going with it and how I'm going to monetize it and what's happening. I am currently enrolled in a 4-month business mastermind mastermind, continuing to learn and grow and to figure out how to scale an online business, build a personal brand, make this podcast even better and more exciting and more exhilarating. Basically creating my own grad school curriculum. And I did that. So I started a lot of this schooling, like the courses and all this, while I had my 9 to 5. So if we're going back to talking about taking aligned action towards your dream life, like, you do not have to quit your 9 to 5 to do it. It is possible to step into your dream reality, to create your dreams, to do all the things while you're doing your 9 to 5. It is like the fucking definition of, if you wanted to, you would. Like, you can do it. It's fucking hard, but you can do it. So I essentially created my own grad school curriculum, and I did that while I had my remote 9 to 5 all year, proving that if you commit and set your mind to something, you absolutely can do anything. Eventually, I quit the 9 to 5 to go all in on pursuing AmandaFest, all while being a digital nomad and not really having any home base. You heard the list of all the places I've been this year. Now think about all of what I did this year while I was doing all of that. It is like, sometimes we just do not give ourselves enough credit for all of the things that we've done, that we're doing, and how far we've come. And it is just, it's good to reflect. It's good to take a second, take a breath, take a moment, and just look back and be like, holy fucking shit, I am doing the damn thing. I'm really, truly, honestly doing the damn thing. I also went to the Netflix Hitman premiere in Austin back in, I think that was in May, for a film that I worked on in what feels like a previous life. So back before I quit my job in 2023, I was working in Hollywood. The last film that I worked on was in 2022. I shot Hitman with Glenn in New Orleans, and I was with him from the inception of the idea of that film all the way through. So going back in May of 2024 to the premiere of that was just like, I get these little flashes of I totally forget all of who I was, and then it comes back and I remember. We as human beings, we don't even realize how much we attribute what we do to who we are and use that as a definer. Like, how many times have you gone out and met someone and been like, hi, what's your name? What do you do? And I used to do that all the time, especially working in entertainment. We are conditioned to do that. It's like, hi, what's your name? What do you do? Who do you work for? And I remember when I went to Burning Man my first year in 2017, I did that. I went to a party and I asked somebody, I was like, hey, what's your name? What do you do? And this guy looked at me like I had 6 heads, because at Burning Man, that's a big no-no. And this guy was like, why are you asking me that? And I was like, what? Like, what do you mean? Why am I asking you that? And he was like, why are you asking me what I do? And I was like, he was like, what are you trying to get at? And I was like, I just want to understand who you are. What inspires you? And he was like, okay, ask me that. And I was like, huh? And he broke it down for me. And he was like, when we ask people, what do you do? On a subconscious level, we're sizing them up, right? We're trying to figure out, what do you do? What kind of car do you drive? How much money's in your bank account? Where are you on the hierarchy of social status? And I was like, fuck, like we kind of do that, right? We're trying to put people in boxes, versus if when you're trying to get to know somebody and the question is, who are you? Allow that to be the questions. What's on your heart right now? What are you most excited about? What's lighting you up right now? What are you interested in? These are all much better questions when you're initially trying to get to know somebody, as opposed to, hi, what's your name? What do you do? I think that those other questions tell you a lot more about people and what they bring to the table. So then the last thing that I wrote here on this little note was, I said, I went into this year feeling terrified and lost, having completely surrendered my previous identity after quitting my Hollywood job in 2023, packing up my apartment and putting everything in storage. I was taking me time, my entire Saturn return, stepping into 2024 with the goal of figuring it all out, figuring out my dharma. And I feel like I'm leaving 2024 fully embodying my dharma and completely ready to launch. So we talked about it in the last episode, but for those who don't know, dharma is your soul's purpose, your soul's calling, what you were brought here to do. I knew that I had one. I just wasn't clear on what it was. And it wasn't until I left my job and gave myself that space and went on these travels and truly committed to focusing on what is it that I'm trying to build in this world? What am I doing here? That was the point in which I was able to gain full clarity on what I'm creating now, which has become AmandaFest, which again is all about inspiring and empowering other people to take aligned action towards their dream lives. And like, I'm doing it right now. Me recording this podcast episode, dude, I can't even fucking tell you how much resistance was coming up. I saw a reel this morning that was talking about success, and they were like, one of the true markers of success is people that follow their plan over how they feel. Because when you have this goal, this big mission, this dream, like this one, for instance, to inspire and empower people to take aligned action towards their dream lives, to help people connect deeper to themselves through intentionality and play. When you have this on your heart and this is the big goal, you're not going to wake up motivated to do it every single day. I am a fucking testament to that. I have been struggling. I struggle for sure. Some days I wake up and I'm like, yeah, let's get shit done. And I go to the coffee shop and I'm on it and I'm in it and I'm doing it. And then other days I'm like, I don't want to do literally anything. I just want to lay on the couch and just like, ugh. And like, so I'm like, okay, well, I've made this commitment, I've made this plan that I'm going to do one solo episode every other episode. And I made this commitment that I'm going to drop and release one every single Wednesday. And so here we are, Tuesday, December 10th. This one's going to come out Wednesday, December 11th. And I'm recording now and I'm going to edit all day and I'm going to get it out and it's going to happen. And I don't want to do it, but I do. I do want to do it because this is my dream. And just because I don't feel like it today doesn't mean that I'm not going to show up in integrity and take that action towards that dream. And so as I'm sharing all of this, I'm hoping, I'm praying that it maybe will inspire somebody who doesn't feel like it today to do something in alignment towards what you're creating and building. So here we are this week. So last night, I went to my 5 Rhythms class in New York City, which is kind of like a subsect of ecstatic dance, which I've talked about a lot here, but it's one of my favorite modalities for helping me get out of my head and into my body has been dance and movement. And there's this amazing, amazing class in New York City on Monday night, 5 Rhythms. It's about moving through the 5 elements, allowing your emotions to literally move through your body. It's somatic release, somatic movement. It's incredible. It's my medicine. So I did that last night. That was super inspiring. Today, I am recording this solo episode. I am taking an online masterclass on community building hosted by the creators of Daybreaker, which is a sober dance party that travels all around the States, which is just one of my favorite things that I've discovered and is so in alignment with what I'm creating with AmandaFest. So to be able to learn directly from them, I'm very excited about that. Tomorrow, I am recording my first in-studio podcast. It is going to be so cool. I met this guy actually through the Soul Creator course, which is another online course that I'm taking. That's the one all about showing up authentically in the digital dimension. But I met this guy, just so many connections through the internet. He popped on the call and mentioned he was in New York. I went on his Instagram, saw that he was posting about Othership, which is the sauna and cold plunge place that I'm obsessed with in New York City. They also have 2 in Toronto, which I'm going to next week. But yeah, he popped in. I saw him. I saw that he was going to Othership. I messaged him. I was like, hey, saw you in the Soul Creator course. I love Othership. He was like, amazing. We should connect. Do you want to come to a class with me? He booked me a class. Went and met him last week. We did the class together. We ended up getting Thai food together afterwards, chatting. His story is unfucking believable. Left that conversation and was like, I absolutely need to have you on the podcast. He was like, for sure, let's fucking do it. He was like, I have a studio that you can use. And I was like, amazing. Because he asked to do it in person. And I was like, I don't have the setup for that yet. Like, I don't have the ability to do that. He was like, don't worry, I got you. So we're doing that. I'm very excited about that. And then what else is happening this week? On Saturday night, I am going to a sober dance party event at Othership. So it's sauna, cold plunge, dance, sober, Saturday night, like party vibes. very excited for that. And then Sunday morning, I'm doing a daybreaker event at Xanadu in the Lower East Side, which is, again, a big sober dance party. Again, I'm not completely sober, but I love going to these fucking sober events because they are just so high vibe. Everybody is clear and intentional, and it just attracts a really fun, kind of cool environment. And also they're just fun, and it's a way to just go and dance and play and connect and just like be in, I love it. So that, and then I go to sleep, and then I'm going to Toronto. So let's talk about Toronto for a second. I'm so freaking excited, you guys. I had Rachel Melinda on the podcast a little bit ago. That was the Raving to Remember podcast. She slid into my DMs in the beginning of November. So I started the Soul Creator course earlier this summer, which was all about showing up authentically in the digital dimension. From that course, I started posting authentically from my heart and posting consistently. And then from doing that, people are starting to notice and feel my energy and feel my vibe. And so somebody saw my profile and sent it to this girl in Toronto and was like, hey, this girl Amanda is doing really cool stuff with this AmandaFest thing. I feel like you guys should connect. I feel like you have a lot in common. And so she reached out to me. She told me about these amazing dance parties that she's hosting in Toronto. So she's doing these all women sober dance parties. Hello, aligned. I think that they started off with 60 people. Then the next event sold out almost immediately for 150 people. And now this is, I think, like the third or fourth event that they're doing. Sold out event, 150 people. And she reached out to me and was like, I love what you're doing with AmandaFest. Would love to connect. We hopped on a call, connected, vibed. Then I invited her on the podcast because her story of how she created what she created was so fucking cool. So I was like, amazing, come on the podcast, let's fucking go. She comes on the podcast, we have a great episode, and then she was like, all right, do you want to come to Toronto? I'd love to have you do a live version of your thing. And I was like, give me a few days. So in my head, I'm like, I don't have a live offer yet. AmandaFest is a podcast. It's my content creation. I have ideas of what it is, but I was like, I don't have a live experience yet. So I was like, give me 2 days. So I decided, let me utilize this offer, this opportunity to do a live event as an opportunity to create a live event. Okay, let's do that. Great, let's go. So I started to meditate on it, and I was like, what would that be? What would that look like? And I created the AmandaFest live experience. So it is a 3-part experience. Part 1 is the welcome portal. I've been to so many events in my life, and there are certain things that I really love about them, certain things that don't necessarily work. But one of my favorite things of some of these events that I've been to is when it really truly feels special from the entry, like from stepping through the threshold from the outside world into the event space, having that sensation of novelty, of truly entering into an experience has just been something that I've really appreciated and enjoyed. The AmandaFest live experience is completely customizable. It is an add-on, an addition, an enhancement to anybody's existing event, no matter what it is. Whether it is a one-off event, whether it's a week-long event, whether it's a retreat, whether it's a corporate event, whether it's more holistic or wellnessy, whatever type of event. If you are an event host and you want a little bit more of a vibe, enter AmandaFest live experience. My job is to bring the vibe to your existing event. So again, it's completely customizable. We can make it as woo or as not woo-woo as you want it. But for this event particularly, I will be saging the guests at the entry, helping them to drop into their bodies, get out of their heads, leave whatever doesn't serve them behind at the door, and get clear and intentional on what they're calling in for this experience as they step through the threshold. Part 2, I'm going to be leading an activation at the top of the event. So before the host comes on and starts doing her thing, I'm going to help people truly ground down, get clear, get primed, and really make it so that the audience is ready for the experience that's about to unfold. So we did a little version of it at the front entry where I sage people, I invite them to let go of what no longer serves them, start to get clear on what they're calling in, and then this activation at the top is where people are really going to cement in what they are calling in for this experience. So it can be a combination of a few different things depending on the event, but guided meditation, visualization, breath work, movement, just really somatically getting out of your head into your body, clear on what you're calling in, and primed and ready to truly soak up all of the juice and the magic of whatever event is about to unfold. And then the final part of this offer is heart shares. So if you have an incredible, amazing event and you are in need of testimonials of those events, I am an experienced podcast host and speaker. I will be asking people at the end of the event, while the energy is still high, while they're still in the vibe and the space of it, I'll be conducting heart share interviews in which I will ask people questions about their experience at the event, and then we can cut all that together and use that as promo content for the next one. So thus, the AmandaFest Live experience is born. And I am so excited that I get to launch this live experience in Toronto next week at the reunion dance party. And the theme of this party is Sparkle Solstice, which is just so fucking aligned. But I'm so excited. And Rachel, who's hosting this, she's flying me out to Toronto. She's putting me up. I'm going to be in Toronto for 3 days. We're going to go to Othership. So Othership actually started in Toronto, and she is a guide there. So we're going to go to both of the Toronto locations. We're going to prep for this dance party. We're going to create tons of content together. Also, Rachel and I have never met in real life before, so that's going to be a whole experience unto itself. We are so aligned, and so I'm really excited to just be in her energy and to see what unfolds and what magic we can create. And I just, like, from the fucking bottom of my heart can feel that this event is going to be such a massive catalyst of so much growth and change and shifts and just massive up levels. I have an incredible outfit that I'm really excited about to launch and debut, but there will be tons and tons of content for anyone who can't go, for anyone who can't be there. You'll definitely get to experience part of the vibe. We're going to record it. It's going to be great. It's going to be amazing. And yeah, and we're in fucking December, guys. I am just so blown away that at the beginning of this year, all I had was the name. February, I had the name AmandaFest. We created an LLC. May, we created a podcast. By June, July, we're doing content. And now by December, we are doing in-person live events. We're speaking. We are on track towards blowing this shit up. I feel it in my bones. I'm like, I know I was brought here on this earth to have massive impact, to help people step into their dreams, to be that embodiment, to inspire you guys to do the fucking damn thing. Like, just do it. And I'm hoping that these solo episodes, whatever they may be, maybe the next one's going to be another update like this, maybe I'll talk about a topic, whatever it is, but I just truly from the bottom of my heart hope and pray that my expression and my sharing and my feeling the fear and doing it anyway and my pushing through discomfort and my holding firm to my dreams and goals and visions despite how I feel in the moment, I hope all of these things that I am embodying, that I am sharing, that I am being so fucking vulnerable in expressing, I pray that it is inspiring you to do the same, that it's showing you that just because you see all the fucking wins on social media doesn't mean that people aren't struggling. I have days where I don't want to get out of bed. I have days where I have a long to-do list and I don't want to do it, but I do part of it. I do one thing. I do something. And this episode for me on the couch in my blanket and my hoodie, this is me doing that. This is me showing up even if I don't want to. This is me proving to myself that I will do the things that I say that I want to do. I actually want to end it on this video.
I think the greatest consequence in life is not keeping commitments to yourself. I think it compounds as personal evidence, which is deposited in this instruction manual of who you are and how you behave and how you show up and what you're capable of. All those tiny little commitments. And then I think you can get into a downward commitment spiral because of that. You don't have faith in anything you do. And this causes a downward spiral. So isn't it really lovely to know that maybe the way to turn that into a positive, upward reinforcing spiral is just keep that tiny commitment you made to yourself today. Like, you don't have to move Mount Everest. You don't need to go on a 7-day ayahuasca retreat. How about when you said you were going to get in bed at 10 p.m., you do that. And you stack those things for a week. Honestly, I've seen it in my friends and their lives have changed. The commitments we keep to ourselves, if we say those are the most important things for compounding that evidence in our favor, everybody can start there today. Yesterday's out of play, but the next thing you do in the next hour, can you keep that commitment to yourself? I think life is much more simple than we often make out.
Fucking love that reel, truly, because that's how I feel. Like, keeping our commitments to ourselves, proving to ourselves that we're gonna do the things that we say that we're gonna do, builds trust. How do you trust yourself? How do you know that you're going to commit to things and show up to them and not waver based on how you feel? Again, there are ebbs and flows and elements to this, and you need to give yourself grace, and you need to tune into your body. And if you're a woman, your cycle plays a role in this for sure. And also, on a grander scale, where are we holding ourselves back? Where are we not showing up in integrity with who we say we want to be? Where are we not taking that aligned action towards our higher self? This is it. It's not that deep. It's not that hard. It's not that complicated, but we have to show up in accordance of who we say we want to be in order to actually step into that version of that self. That's it, guys. We have to show up in alignment with who we say we want to be if we truly desire to step into that reality. It's not fucking faith, trust, and pixie dust. We need to hold the vision. Absolutely. Mindset is so much a part of it. But this aligned action element of it is so important. So I'm going to leave us with that. I hope you guys enjoyed my update story time unconventional podcast. If you liked it, let me know. If you hated it, let me know. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe, rate, share this with a friend if you think that somebody might gain some wisdom just from hearing me blab, yap, and chat. Send it on over. I'm so excited for next week's episode with my friend Calvin, who escaped a cult after being born and raised 29 years inside of it. He has 4 moms and 44 siblings, and his story is just absolutely bananas. So you're not going to want to miss that one. If you stayed and listened to this whole thing, I love and appreciate you, and can't wait to catch you on the next one. Bye.